Good morning and welcome to the Community Culture, Arts and Sports Committee number 8 for the year. And we have all councillors in attendance this morning. I'll pass over to Councillor Kunzelman for our acknowledgement.
Today this committee recognises the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet. We support their right to democratic representation and social inclusion. Ipswich City Council acknowledges the ongoing challenges faced by Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and this committee supports their inclusion and participation in community, cultural, arts and sports activities.
Thanks, Councillor Kunzelman. Are there any declarations of interest on matters on the agenda? No. We'll move on to business outstanding, and Councillor Ireland, this was in response to your questions around the categorisation of after-hours calls, including how they were prioritised. Were you happy with the advice provided by the department? Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Moving on to item number 1 this morning, which is just the confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting, and the recommendation here is that the minutes of the Community Culture, Arts and Sports Committee held on the 10th of August 2023 be confirmed. I'm happy to move those. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Kunzelman. Any corrections or amendments? We'll take that to the vote. All those in favour? That's unanimous and carried. Item number 2 this morning is the 2022 to 2023 Active and Healthy Program. This report is concerning the delivery and participation of the 2022 to 2023 Active and Healthy Program and its contribution to Council's Active Ipswich Strategy 2031. The recommendation here is that the report concerning the delivery and participation of the 22 to 23 Active and Healthy Program be received and its contents noted. I'm happy to move that. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Kunzelman. I'll move on to any discussion. To you, Mayor. Yep.
If I can, Chair, just note the impressive stats there. They have 8,500 people participated across over 1,000 events. And it was interesting to see the biggest increase for attendance was actually bike riding workshops. So that was up nearly 500%.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So it's great to see that happen. And obviously the launch of the Active Wellbeing Program has been very well received. The nutrition workshops, obviously very well received, as well as the social inclusion in sport workshops. I think they note is there a plan to launch a new app or something like that? I just would like to make sure that that's being done in concert with the ICT area of council, rather than just going off and doing a new app. That should be all worked in together, I guess.
Would you like commentary on that now, or as a question on notice, and we can get back to you?
I guess a question on notice, yeah. Yep. How is that app being developed, and what are the links to the CIO? No
worries.
Thank you. Thanks, Chair.
Yeah, I also just wanted to highlight the fact that every year in December, the community consultation aspect of the delivery of the program happens. So all of the participants across the year are actually referred back to ask them what was their experience like, what did they like and what didn't they like, so that we can make next year's program. And I think that that's a really important step that the team has taken to ensure that these events are fit for purpose and just what the community are asking for. And that gives us the ability to kind of drop off if there's low attendance, or increase marketing push in those areas where we still think we need to work as a community. So it's a really great program. And when I saw it and all of the collateral that's online, and we have a few information pamphlets, it looks really great. It's a great showing of what the team have been up to and what's on offer for our residents coming into spring. So great work to the team. With no further discussion, I'll take that to the vote. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Carried. Item number 3 this morning is major community event sponsorship application, Celebrate 24 at the Tivoli Drive-In. This report is concerning an event sponsorship application by Tivoli Social Enterprises Limited for $25,000 excluding GST, support for Celebrate 24 at the Tivoli Drive-In, Sunday the 31st of December 2023. The recommendation here is that Tivoli Social Enterprises Limited receive $17,500, excluding GST, in major community event sponsorship for financial support of their event Celebrate 24 at the Tivoli Drive-In New Year's Eve event. I'll move that recommendation. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Doyle. Would anyone like to speak to the relevant officer? Thank you. Ms Gregory will join us at the lectern momentarily.
Good morning, Carly Gregory, Manager of Marketing and Promotions.
Thank you. Through the Chair. Good morning, Ms Gregory. I see that Tivoli Social Enterprise have put in a submission for $25,000. Last year we gave them $20,000 and the organisation's putting forward $17,500. Can you talk me through the process of why we're not doing at least the same as last year?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first point to make is that the team or the panel assessed this based on the submission at the time against set criteria for these major community events. But we always bring them to council, you know, for a decision of council. So we absolutely agree. You know, the decision can be made by council. I think it's important to sort of go back that this event probably got more funding than the original assessment because it was a COVID-safe construct. If you go back to those initial years during COVID, it was presented as the citywide celebration. It was really the only location we could go to in a COVID-safe venue because you could stay within your cars, in your family group, but still celebrate together. So that's where this started. It gets slightly more money than a community carols because they obviously put on a fantastic fireworks display, and that is our agreement that it acts as one of the divisional fireworks across the city, as we do 4 across the city every New Year's Eve. The assessment commentary this year was based that for the last 3 years, the application from this group has outlined that it wants to reduce its reliance on council funding. So we know that they're investing in that venue, which means there's less, for example, portaloos and staging and things that need to come in. But the application doesn't reflect that because it's still the same amount every year. And I should sort of point out, I think last year it was slightly under 4,000 people. So obviously for major community, we're usually thinking 4.5 to that 6,000 to 8,000. So the numbers just didn't reflect that. And I think last year we were cautious. We went with the 20, thinking that the numbers might come. But obviously out of a pandemic, there's more offerings on New Year's Eve. So it's just got back to a more competitive market.
Okay. Thank you, Ms Gregory. Thank you, Chair.
I'll open that up for any discussion.
Yes, Chair, I'm keen. Just knowing that the tough economic times, it's going to be harder and harder for a lot of these community groups to get corporate sponsors. I would prefer to keep it at the 20,000. I understand the reasoning from the organisation and respect that, but I just think due to the tough economic times, I'd like to propose that we actually provide the same as last year's $20,000 as event sponsorship. I guess I move that amendment.
I'm happy to accept that amendment. Councillor Doyle, as the seconder, are you happy to accept that as well?
Thanks, Chair. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you. Yep. No further discussion. We'll take that to the vote. All those in favour? And that's unanimous and carried. Item number 4 this morning is the revised civic and ceremonial events policy. Now, you would have all received an email on the 31st of August outlining a few errors in the attachments that were originally attached and uploaded to LG Hub and online. So the email went through the changes that were made to the policy. It was just bringing it in line and updating it. There are a few omissions there in the construction of that. So I hope that you've all had time to kind of read and reflect on some of those changes. But the report and the reason why it's coming to us, I think, is important and was always reflected from the beginning. It was concerning the update to the policy to include NAIDOC and Reconciliation Week into our civic and ceremonial events policy. So I'll move that the revised policy titled Civic and Ceremonial Events Policy as detailed in proposed attachment 4 be adopted. Do I have a seconder for that? Thank you, Councillor Kunzelman. Open that up for discussion. I just want to say that this was discussed over a series of meetings that we have in our Civic and Ceremonial working group. It was flagged to us as an omission when we were originally constructing the policy. So everyone agreed that it would be a great little update to make to include these really important events in the city's calendar and enshrine them in that policy.
Chair, I would agree. These are activities that the council is doing, so I think it's important to have that policy basis that it is a commitment for this council ongoing as this policy.
I agree.
Chair, I just noticed one thing on, I think, page 4.
Page 4 in...
sorry, 4 or 5. Sorry, which...
Yeah, which document are you working
Oh, the
in?
one that came through the late... I'll look at, sorry, the table under paragraph 8, roles and responsibilities. It talks about Mayor and Council, and the last dot point is that request certificates of recognition, presentation, plaques or floral tributes via the relevant Mayor Council Support Office. And then the next one says Mayor and CEO provides approval for floral tributes and wreaths. Do you mind if we add and plaques into that, just to be consistent?
For consistency?
Just to be consistent, if that's okay.
Yep, I'm happy
Yeah.
for that to occur. So I guess it's page 3 of the policy we're seeking to make the adjustment to there. So on page 3 of attachment 4.
Yes, it's page 3. Sorry, I was looking at the track change one,
Yeah.
sorry. Yes.
Yeah, just to make it as clean as possible. On page 3 of attachment 4.
Where it has roles and responsibilities? In paragraph 8, which is the roles and responsibilities, there is a Mayor and CEO, and it says provide approval for floral tributes and wreaths. May we just include plaques into that?
So yeah, again, sorry, just to assist the committee
Yeah.
clerk, that
Plaques.
on page
In
3 of
paragraph
attachment 4 and dot point 5.
No, actually, it wouldn't be dot point.
Is it not on page 3?
So on the left-hand column position, so it's just one added here.
Mayor and Chief Executive Officer, so...
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I see what you're saying.
Just add
8.
under position Mayor and CEO, under responsibilities change, provides approval for floral tributes and wreaths to just add plaques.
We might be speaking a little bit too fast to try and...
Sorry.
Yeah. That's enough of a direction. I'm happy with that.
Thank you.
Councillor Kunzelman, as the seconder, you're happy for that amendment?
Thank you.
Yep. Any further discussion? We'll take that to the vote. All those in favour? That's unanimous and carried. That brings us to the close of the committee this morning at 10:15. We'll take a 30-minute break for morning tea and we'll return at 10:45.
Thank you.